Today, we're going to talk about the Great Depression and its effect on the economy. The Great Depression was a worldwide economic recession. It started in August 1929 in the United States. During the recession, the banking system collapsed and the stock market crashed. It had caused high unemployment, poverty, deflation, and various other effects. Now, let's start with an economic concept called the business cycle, a cycle of alternating periods of expansion and contraction of national economy. On the graph shown, the relative maximum are called the peak and the relative minimum points are called the trough. This is what the business cycle looked like between World War I and World War II. Based on the graph, the economy peaked during the Roaring Twenties and then plunged straight down since 1929 and reached the lowest point around 1932, which is the Great Depression. There were many causes for this catastrophic economic event. First, banks gave out easy credit, which results in a large amount of investments in corporations' stock market, as people believe that it is free money. This results in overproduction from such excess funding. Then, since corporations aim to maximize profits, they lowered workers' wages, which results in a decrease in consumers' purchase power. Since corporations were not making as much profit due to the previous two factors, there was a large-scale loss of confidence in their stock market, which causes the stock market rate to fall drastically. This caused a phenomenon called the bank run, where people wish to withdraw more money than a bank can provide. Since the banks also poured their money into the stock market, and as the market crashed, the banks lost their money as well. And on top of the bank run, eventually causing them to shut down. Because people lost their reserves in their banks, consumers preferred to hold money than actually spending the money. This results in a significant decrease in consumption and investment spending. Here's the ADAS curve showing the relationships between national income and price level at the time. A main component of the AD curve consists of consumer spending on goods and services. During the Great Depression, people's disposable income and wealth plummeted as the stock market crashed. Thus, consumer spending decreased. This causes the AD curve to shift to the left, causing the decrease of both price level and GDP. And now, here is the money demand and supply graph during the Depression. Because it had become more profitable to hold money as opposed to spending them, the demand for money falls, causing the money demand curve to shift to the left. The resulting low interest rate discourages investment, which is another component of the AD curve, causing it to shift even more to the left.
While President Hoover was in office, he released multiple policies trying to resolve the Depression. Spoiler alerts, they are not that effective. He administered the Reconstruction Finance Corporation, which then lends $2 billion to financial institutions to prevent further failures. He had the Fed purchase $1 billion in security from banks, which is an expansionary open market operation hoping to increase the money supply in the economy. However, Hoover wanted to reduce the federal deficit, so he released the Revenue Act of 1932, which increased the top income tax rate to 63%. This inevitably worsened the Depression. Hoover's failure in resolving the Depression was the main reason he lost the election against FDR. When Franklin D. Roosevelt took over as president, he released another set of policies called the New Deal to resolve the Depression. The New Deal created job opportunity mainly through government purchases. Since government purchase is a component of aggregate demand, the increased G will shift the AD curve right, raising GDP and price level. On March 31, 1933, Civilian Conservation Corps, the CCC, was launched to hire 3 million workers to maintain public lands. On November 8, the same year, Civil Work Administration created 4 million construction jobs. And on April 8, 1935, The Emergency Relief Appropriation created the Works Progress Administration to hire 8.5 million people to work on the national infrastructure. These policies reduced the unemployment caused by the depression, but was still not enough to resolve the depression completely. Ironically, the World War II brought the US out of the depression. When the war started, people, including many women, were hired for the production of weaponry for the US and for those European countries in the war. At the same time, new factory opens up as weapon production proved to be highly profitable. Now here's another ADAS curve showing what happened during the World War II. As we know, the AD curve consists of consumer spending, investment, government purchases, and net export. The production of weaponry increased consumption, investment, and net export, increasing the AD and shifting the curve to the right, which then greatly increased the national income, bringing the country out of the depression.